G'day guys, welcome to my RSY's feature video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Hyundai Aleague for Week 8 predictions for 2021 guys, so let's get started. So the first game of that match, we see the Newcastle FC going up against the Adelaide United. Now, in this type of form, what I think about this game, I reckon the Adelaide United will have a really good team up their hands, and I reckon in this type of form, like in this, how the way they want to basically play their game right, is they've got to put some pressure on the Newcastle FC, because they've gotten proven that Newcastle FC can basically prove that they want to win games of football. Excuse me. And I know that they are a really good team based on their true players and aspects and the formations and how the way they want to play. But I do think, in my opinion, I reckon Newcastle FC will get the job done. I reckon they will, and I reckon Newcastle FC will really step up and go through on through. And so in this type of form, what I do think about this game, I reckon the Adelaide United will basically struggle in that game. And I do think, in my opinion though, I reckon that this team will be really struggling in that game. But I reckon Newcastle FC won't. And so in this type of form, what I think about this game, I reckon that this team will be a really good team. I just think Newcastle FC will basically prove themselves that they want to win that game, so I'm going to go for them. In my opinion, my prediction, my scoreline, I'm going to go with 2-1 in this game. I reckon that Newcastle FC will only get the benefit of the doubt in that match, so I'm going to go with them. And I reckon that Adelaide United will basically struggle in that game to seal the deal for the Newcastle FC to basically win for that match anyway. The next game of that match, we see the Western United going up against the Sydney FC. Now, in this game, this type of form, what I think about this match, I reckon that, in my opinion though, the Western United haven't been really on top of their form lately since they've lost against the Mariners 3-2 last week at Central Coast Stadium. In my opinion though, the Sydney FC going up against this team, I reckon the Sydney FC will basically have a really good matchup in that game. And in my opinion though, what I do think in this game, I reckon it's just exact that Western United are a really based up team. And so in my opinion though, the Western United, I reckon they will struggle a little bit, but then I reckon the Sydney FC will basically really win this game for sure. But in my opinion, and so on, I just think that Sydney FC will basically win this game by a long shot. And so, in my opinion, I just think that the Sydney FC will basically really get the job done against the Western United. And if the Western United basically win this game, I'm just going to say I'm going to go with the Sydney FC in this match. In my opinion, my prediction, my scoreline, I'm going to go with 2-0 in this game. And I do think, in my opinion, I reckon that the Sydney FC will get the benefit of the doubt, but I reckon the Western United won't get the benefit of the doubt, and I reckon they will struggle in that game for sure. And I do see the Western United getting a struggle in that game, because the Sydney FC will definitely improve for that game. So I'm going to go with 2-0 in that game, and I reckon Sydney FC will win that for sure. The next game of that match, we see the Western Sydney Wanderers going up against the Melbourne City. Now, in this game, I reckon it'll be an average game of football, and I do see an increase of chances by the Western Sydney Wanderers basically winning that game. And in my opinion though, I just think that it's going to be quite logic that the formation and how they're based on the skill of that game, the Western Sydney Wanderers are a really good team, but sometimes they do struggle a little bit, and I reckon the 50% chance of them struggling a little bit will be really fairly well. But I just think that going up against Melbourne City, it's going to be a long wait to see these two teams basically either lose or win a game. So it's just how the way they want to play football, right? And in my opinion, though, I just really consider them, the Western Sydney Wanderers, basically winning that game. But in my opinion, and so on, I just think that the Melbourne City will basically get a win, in my opinion. But I might not be right, I might be wrong, definitely. But yeah, it's just how the way the game is, and yeah. But I just think that the Western Sydney Wanderers will aim up in this game, and I just think that, in my opinion, my prediction, I'm going to go with the Western Sydney Wanderers. But the scoreline in that game, I'm going to go with 3-0 in that match, and I just think the Melbourne City will basically struggle in that game, and I just think that Melbourne City won't be as critical as they will be, and I just think the Western Sydney Wanderers will basically win that 3-0 anyway. The next game of that match, we see the Wellington Phoenix going up against the Central Coast Mariners. Now, in my opinion, in this game, I just think the Wellington Phoenix will struggle in that match, but I just reckon, in my opinion, though, I do see them winning, but it's going to be a 50% chance of them winning. But I just reckon the Mariners, since they're on top, first on the ladder, I just see them basically winning this game for sure. But I just reckon the percentage of that game, I just think Wellington Phoenix will be 50% chance, and I reckon the Central Coast Mariners will be 80% chance of them winning. So I'm going to go with the Central Coast Mariners in this game, only because, in my opinion, I reckon they will aim up in their defence, aim up in their attack, and I reckon that they obviously will. But it's how the way they want to play football, right, in that type of form, in that static of that game. I just see the logical of that game basically average and halfway to that point. So, in my opinion, though, I'm basically going to go with, in this game, it's hard to say in that game, though, I'm going to go with the Central Coast Mariners because it is a tough decision, and it's going to be really tough in that game, and I'm going to go with 4-0 in that game, and I reckon Mariners will basically aim up in their defence, and yeah, I just reckon I'll smash the Wellington Phoenix anyway. The next game of that match, we see the Brisbane Roar going up against the Newcastle Jets. Now, in this match, I just think that, in my opinion, it'll be a really average game, but I know that it's going to be really tough, really hard, really secluded. But in my opinion, though, I just think in this defence, the Newcastle Jets were aiming up last week, and they basically beaten the Melbourne City 1-0, and it's going to be really tough and really hard in this game that the Brisbane Roar are second on the ladder, and Newcastle Jets are basically kind of down halfway on the ladder, and so on, but it's going to be real tough, really hard, and it's going to be really tough for that decision who's going to win in this game. But in my opinion, though, I just think it's going to be really tough in that decision. But Valentino Yule is a really good player, and the Brisbane Roar, if they want to put some pressure on the Newcastle Jets, they have to focus on Valentino Yule, and so on, because also they have to focus on Roy O'Donovan too. But they've gotten good players out there, Newcastle Jets and also the Brisbane Roar. But in my opinion though, I'm going to go with the Brisbane Roar on this game. I just think that Newcastle Jets will technically might have a struggle in that game, but I just think it will be really tough and really hard. So in my opinion, my prediction, my scoreline, I'm going to go with the Brisbane Roar, and I'm going to say in this game, I'm going to go with 2-0 in that game, and I just think the Brisbane Roar will wipe out the Newcastle Jets in that match, and I just think it'll be a really good game anyway. The next game of that match, we see the Melbourne City going up against the Sydney FC, and now, in my opinion, in this game, I'm going to think about how the way they want to play in defence, but it's just going to be really tough and really hard, and it's really crucial in that game, but it's going to be really logical for that game, and so on and so on. But in my opinion though, it's going to be really average game of football. But Melbourne City is just a really based on team. But going up against the Sydney FC, it's going to be really tough, but that's like a Melbourne derby game, and in my opinion though, it's going to be really tough and really hard and really logical game. But in my opinion though, I just have to think about how the way they want to play football and how the way they want to play it right. And in my opinion though, I just think that the Sydney FC will basically improve in that game, but it's going to be really tough, really hard, and really average game of football. So, in my opinion, my prediction, my scoreline, I'm going to go with Melbourne City in this game, and I'm going to go with 2-1 in that match, and I just think it will be really tough, really hard, and I just think that it's going to be a really secluded game of football, but it's how the way you want to play football right, and it's how the way you want to play your aiming skills right too. So yeah, I just think the Sydney FC will basically have improvement there, but I just think they won't have enough to seal the deal against the Melbourne City. And last but certainly not least, we see the Melbourne Victory going up against the Wellington Phoenix. Now, in this match, it's going to be really tough because these two teams are very low in that performance, in that competition of the A-League game. And in my opinion though, the Melbourne Victory are really not aiming it right at the moment, because it's how the way you want to basically play football right, and how the way you basically want to play football in that particular thing. But in my opinion though, I just think, in my opinion though, it's how the way you want to play football right in that game. But so on in this game, I just think it's going to be having that logical performance and talented games if you want to basically win a game of football. But I reckon the Wellington Phoenix will be really on top of their form, but it's really average things that really based on that team. And in my opinion though, I just think it will be very odd to see in this game be really tough and really hard and average game of football. So in my opinion though, I'm going to go with the Melbourne Victory in this game, and I just think, in my opinion, the Melbourne Victory will be really hard to basically beat in that game. But Wellington Phoenix, I just think, will have a bit of struggle in that game to basically seal the deal in that match. So, in my opinion though, I'm just going to go with 3-0 in that game. And yeah, I just think they will have a really good game of football by the Melbourne Victory, and I just reckon Wellington Phoenix will struggle in that game. Thanks so much for watching my video, guys. Stay tuned for more. I will be doing a couple of videos coming to you guys soon. Also, I'll be doing more videos coming to you guys soon, so stay tuned for more. Plus, leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and for this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care, guys. Stay safe and have a good one. Plus, let's get up to 200 subscribers. We're seeing 194 anyway, so let's get up to that. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.